Hi, everyone, and welcome to Strategic Wealth Strategies with our host, Alan Porter. Alan, how are you? We've been providing such great information of how you can not have to pay hardly any taxes. You're saving money and you're going to have the protection for retirement and also the money for retirement. And that's huge, Alan, isn't
Absolutely, because people don't understand how taxes can be so detrimental to your retirement. And I just saw a New York Times post today. Our 401ks have lost 25% in 1 year, and I show people how to protect themselves from the losses of a 401k, stock market losses, sequence returns risk, longevity risk. I show people how to take care of that, how to give them guaranteed income. But everybody I talk to, financial planners and everyone else, we talk about they said that usually there's three buckets of money. You have your 401k, your stock portfolio, and your pension. Well, I've enhanced it to there's five buckets of money. And what I want to do is I want to show you a quick slide presentation of this because it's very important that people have this. If they don't have it, they're not going to have an optimal retirement. Now, nobody can design a best retirement because it's just not possible, but I can show you how to have an optimal retirement. So if you're ready, I'll share my little presentation with you. Okay. Now, what I want to show you is the five buckets of money for retirement. And this is an idea I came with after attending many seminars and talking to different clients, different financial advisors. And what they are, you've got your taxable, which is your stock portfolio, okay? But there's always risk involved with this. The next one is your tax deferred. This is your 401k, your IRA, 403b, 529, actually not 529 plan, but the other qualified plans. You also have tax-free, which is your Roth 401k, your Roth IRA, but also cash value life insurance that people know little to nothing about. The other one is guaranteed income. I've had people, I talked to them about fixed and fixed index annuities. Oh, I don't like annuities. I said, well, okay, if you don't like annuities, you can just sign over your Social Security to me or your pension because that's an annuity. Oh, I didn't know that. And insurance products are the only thing out there that's going to give you guaranteed income that will last your entire life, but possibly increasing and long-term care benefits. And the last one that's very, very great, but people are not educated on is the home equity. It's called a home equity conversion mortgage. And what I want to show you is the advantages and disadvantages of each. Taxable buckets, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, but these all have problems, Neil. You've got market risk. And just like right now, we're down 25%. Interest rate risk, the interest rates are going up. Longevity risk, and this is absolutely huge. This is a risk multiplier because if you retire and you're living off a stock and bond portfolio and that market goes down, you're going to run out of money. You don't have to have that with guaranteed income from a fixed or fixed index annuity. Liquidity risk, especially for the 401k or an IRA, you can't take that money out until you're 59 and a half, or it's a 10% penalty. Depreciation risk. That goes with real estate, different things like this. But here's a big one for me, and this is what gets me because I don't have many financial planners that I know of who tell their clients about sequence returns risk. And this risk right now, and you didn't know anything about it until I told you, right? Well, if you have a loss, if you're getting your retirement from a stock portfolio, okay,
right?
and you have a loss in the first couple, 3 years in a 10-year period as compared to the last 2 or 3 years in that period, you're going to have your account is going to be decimated. You're going to run out of money probably in the 7th or 8th year.
So out of 30 years, if the market hits all-time lows 4 times and you're about to retire, you've lost a lot of money.
Exactly right. But here's the other thing too, is they're not told this by their financial planners, from what I understand.
They show a history of the stock market that everyone made money regardless if it was the days of all these horrible, horrific events, and yet everyone still saved their money and made money, even though the market went down in the history.
Right.
Saying an average return didn't. What are they selling in about? Let's say a mutual fund The average return they're promising everyone's about 10 to 12%, right? From the up and down markets.
They probably are, but they don't include the fees. The fees for mutual funds are over 4%. And then I got four.
So you're only down to 8% making money off of, I mean, average. And the problem is there are not every year 8%.
But then there's taxes to pay. And if people think taxes are going down, I've got another thing for them. We've got a $31 trillion deficit that's going up every year. So the government's either got to cut two things. They're going to cut benefits, which they're not doing. All they're doing is increasing benefits, or they're going to raise taxes. So what do you think they're going to do? Now, I read a Congressional Budget Office report a couple of weeks ago that said taxes for the wealthy are going up to 65%, and that's just for the elite, the wealthy, the highest tax bracket. But the people in the lowest tax brackets are going to go from 10% to 25%. And people don't know this, but right now, taxes, we have a progressive tax system. And taxes right now, if you're at a 12% minimum tax bracket, January 1st, 2026, those taxes go to 25%. Now that's over 100% increase. And I know people aren't prepared for this. Now all the others go up, but not as much as the 12%. But this one here, next one is very near and dear to my heart because I just had to put my brother in a nursing home. He's got Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And people don't plan for this. Long-term care, 70% of all Americans need long-term care at some point in their life. 40% of people on long-term care are between the ages of 18 and 64. And Neil, this is an age lab study by Dr. Pokorski at MIT University.
Yeah.
If you are married at age 65, there is a 75% chance of you or your spouse contacting Alzheimer's, dementia, or Parkinson's. And right now, long-term care costs between $50,000 to $200,000 a month, and it goes up by 6% or more every year.
And you believe in a different type of an insurance product than the ones that are long-term care insurance. We'll have another program on that because that's the big push. Also, I'd like to talk about reverse mortgages at one point in time as well.
Okay. And that, in fact, I've got a specialist I want to interview on that. But you also have litigation risk. The products I have, you protect from litigation, legislative risk, and there are many, many others. But when I say legislative risk, I'm talking about tax increases.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Not only that, they're already working out ways to get rid of from what I've been understanding, get rid of the Roth product, get rid of your tax deductions. So things are up in the air right now. There's all kinds of things going on between inflation, the cost of fuel, losing your 401k. But I want to show people I want them to think outside the box. I want to show them how to protect their assets and protect their family. The tax deferred bucket is qualified plans, 401k, the SEP, the 403b, IRAs, but they all have the same risk as I just showed you. Plus, they have required minimum distributions. Now, I've had people that are 65 years old, Neil, and don't know what required minimum distribution is.
Oh my goodness.
Now, it used to be at 70.5. With the new Secure Act, the required minimum distributions are not until 72. But here's the thing. If you do not take the required minimum distribution that the government says you must take from your 401k, IRA, or something like that, because you don't need it, it's a 50% penalty plus all the taxes. And people just are floored when they find that out.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay.
I want to show you something a little bit different. Your tax-free bucket, cash value life insurance, the Roth 401k, and the Roth IRA. But the Roth products also have the risk, as I just stated above, unless they are in a fixed or fixed indexed annuity in many cases. But a fixed and fixed indexed annuity will give you guaranteed income for the rest of your life. And it can be for the rest of your life, the rest of your wife's life, and possibly even more. It depends on all how you set it up. They can have long-term care benefits attached to it. And here's something that people don't understand, the longer you wait to take money out of a fixed or fixed index annuity, the higher the distribution rate. It's not about rate of return or retirement. It's about distribution of your assets. And that's where people are getting this wrong.
Exactly.
The guaranteed bucket of money, pensions, Social Security, again, cash value life insurance, fixed and fixed fixed and fixed income annuities. Assume that should be indexes. Can't spell everything right, but guaranteed bucket of money is extremely important in retirement. You have to have guaranteed income just to pay for the basics and to sustain your life. As world-renowned author and speaker Tom Hagner, and he's a good friend of mine, and I do co-host webinars with him right now. You have to have guaranteed income, the paychecks to pay for the basic things in life, and paychecks to pay for everything else. If you do not have guaranteed income in retirement, you cannot have an optimal retirement. And I can show you, and Tom taught me this. You replace your bond section of your stock and bond portfolio with a fixed or fixed index annuities, and it will outperform every time between a stock and bond portfolio. Every time. As Tom even has a I don't know, it's a $5,000-$10,000 challenge for anybody to show them any different. But it's all a matter of education, as I've said before in these webinars. Now, here's the big one people don't know about: home equity in retirement. A new reverse mortgage it's called a HECM, home equity conversion mortgage. And right now, I think there's $7 to $9 trillion of home equity for people over 62. Now, everybody says, well, I don't want a mortgage on my house. You need to think outside the box, okay? And I'm going to give you an example. You've got a $400,000 house and it's paid off.
Right.
And let's say that this is a federally insured loan. Let's say that they give you they're not going to give you a $400,000 line of credit. Let's say they give you a $200,000 line of credit, just for simplicity, okay? They're going to charge you $10,000 for closing costs. Nothing comes out of your pocket. They're going to charge you, say, 5% on that $10,000. You still have $190,000 in that line of credit. By law, they have to pay you the same 5% interest. Now, I want you to understand this. You're getting money from paid to you at 5% on $190,000. You're only paying 5% on $10,000. You're arbitraging $180,000 of tax-free money. And people somehow they just don't get it. They think it's a mortgage. It's not a mortgage. It continues to grow. They can't take this back like they did the lines of credit back in 2008. And people say, well, what if I use all my line of credit up and my mortgage is my interest and everything's worth more than my house? Well, guess what? It's a non-recourse loan. The bank takes the hit. It's FHA insured. But I want to show you some other things on this. The HECM has many advantages. You can get it for Social Security deferral. Let's say that you're 65. And optimum time to take Social Security courses is 70 because Social Security increases 8% every year from the age 62 and plus cost of living allowance. Okay. So let's say that you're 65 and you want to wait till 70. If you can have one of these home equity conversion mortgages and take the liquidity out of that, and that's tax-free income that you can use to bridge any gap so you get more money out of your Social Security. Gap healthcare. It can also help cover the cost of healthcare until you reach Medicaid. Medicare eligibility. And here's the thing: people, or some of them are retiring at 62. They go ahead and take their Social Security then. They're losing tons and tons of money, but they cannot get health care because they're not working anymore and they can't sign up for Medicare until they're, say, age 65. But if they have this money in a home equity conversion mortgage, they can bridge this gap right here for their health care.
Definitely. Is that a different kind of reverse mortgage than the ones they advertise on TV?
Well, yes and no. It is a reverse mortgage, but it's a different type. Now, I used to have a mortgage company after I retired from the military. And a friend of mine, that's another broker, had a client down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The guy had terrible credit. His house was worth about $900,000. He only owed $100,000 on his house, but he was 6 months behind his payment. They were going to foreclose on his house, and he was going to lose everything. But what he did a reverse mortgage. They paid his mortgage off, give him a few $100,000 for the equity in his home, and he can live in that house till he passes away and his wife passes away. They had no children.
So
So
what age is you allowed to get a reverse mortgage?
what's that?
What age?
You have to be 62. 62. Now, the other person can be less than 62, 59, 58, 50, whatever. But your loan to value goes down for as far as the line of credit they're going to give you. Okay. You can also, I'll go with these over in a minute. Qualified plan deferral. If your qualified plan is invested in the market, in which 99% are, you have market risk plus all the other risk I just mentioned. And you don't want to take the money out in the down years. That's what's going on right now, because it'll decimate your retirement. Defer taking that money out and take it from your HECM instead. This is perfect because it also helps to eliminate sequence of returns risk. Mm-hmm. And I have nobody tell me, the clients that I have that I've gotten from other advisors tell me that their financial advisor ever told them about any of this. This is very important. Annuity deferral for vesting, because the more years you wait to take out the income from your annuity, the higher the distribution percentage you receive. I just said that in the last slide. The longer you wait, the higher the distribution rate, and that's the number one factor in retirement. Here's the thing. We may not be able to afford the premium payments for long-term care insurance. But again, the HECM can possibly cover this. I mean, long-term care insurance is great, but as I've said before, all insurance products are great as far as I'm concerned, because they protect the family and they protect your assets. But you can have a long-term care policy that you bought when you're like 50 and you die in your sleep at 75 and all that money's gone. It's like term insurance. There's no cash value. Tax bracket management. You can use this. This is absolutely huge, and people do not take advantage of this because this is tax-free income. It may keep you out of a higher tax bracket. Instead of taking money out of a 401k or something else that's taxed at normal income rates, if you don't need that, you can take it out of your home equity conversion mortgage and keep you in the lowest tax bracket possible. Go years funding. I call this the years in retirement when you go and do everything. Your grandkids, you go out more, you're being more active, and this money can be taken from your home equity conversion mortgage again. I think Tom Hangman says you got your go years, you got your slow go years, you got your no go years in retirement. So Roth conversion. This is especially important. People don't understand this. You can take the money from this home equity conversion mortgage, pay the taxes on your IRA or 401k, making them Roth products or fixed indexed annuities, and making them a Roth product that you'll never get any increases in tax before. You don't have legislative risk. I mean, it's unbelievable the advantages of this, but people, all they need, Neil, is to be educated on this. I've got people right now that are funding the college, the grandchildren's college funds with their home equity conversion mortgage. And think about that. I ask a lot of people, I said, what are you going to do with your house? Well, I'm going to give it to my kids. Well, I said, do you want your kids to talk to each other after you pass away? Well, yeah. I said, how many kids do you have? Well, we have 3. I said, okay, well, I got neighbors on both sides of me that they don't talk to their sisters and brothers because of inheritance squabbles. And if you got 3 kids and you sell their house, first off, there's great taxes to pay. Second off, one kid may want to sell the house, but the other 2 want to keep the house and rent it out as income. So you got a huge squabble right there. But you can take this money and buy a cash value life insurance policy that will probably be worth more than your house.
That's a great idea. Yeah. So that's why you need a professional like Alan Porter. That's for sure.
But I mean, cash value life insurance is tax free, and you can divide it up 15 different ways. It's all the same. Mm-hmm. Eliminate your mortgage payment. Turn that into a cash value life insurance policy. Instead of making a mortgage payment, that, like I said, will be probably worth more than the house, and it's tax free, and it can be used for long-term care. That's something people don't understand about cash value life insurance. The death benefit, and I know this for a fact because my daughter-in-law died at age 39 from pancreatic cancer. And if it had not been for the terminal illness rider that let her access up to 1 year prior to the diagnosis, my son would be bankrupt. It took a huge financial strain off of me. But these are things that people need to understand and need to care about, but they don't because nobody educates them. You can buy a new home. I've got a client right now that moved from North Carolina down to Florida. He's buying a $650,000 house. It's only costing $400,000. I've got a lady in Fayetteville, where I live. We're going to go through a process where she's going to sell her house for $600,000. She wants to buy a house about $350,000, and she's going to have to bring about $120,000 to closing, and she'll own the house
Hmm.
because she's using home equity line of credit. And we can take the rest of that money, buy cash value life insurance or fixed indexed annuities, because she's in her 70s, and this is going to give her guaranteed income for the rest of her life, because that's what she was worried about. Now, I don't know where my money's going to come from. I said, well, how's your stock market working right now? She said, not at all. You could even buy a more expensive house. Let's say you're living in a you want to move to the coast, and you buy a $500,000 house, and your house you have back here is like $200,000 or $300,000. Well, you can probably buy that $500,000 house for $300,000,
Right.
because you're buying it through a home equity conversion mortgage. Again, fund college education for your grandchildren. I have clients that do this all the time. Family resource savings for liquidity. And here's another thing people understand: if you don't need the money, your growth at well, right now I think it's 5.5%, but that money's tax free, and that is on top of what your home is worth.
Right.
If your home appreciates, so does your line of credit. So you're making more and more money all the time. And even if your house depreciates, you still have that line of credit, because they can't change. It's contract law. They can't change that. You're still making your interest on that, and it's tax free. This is but a few things that can be accomplished, but I'm telling you that there are so many other things that can be done, especially when you sequence time and combine all the financial strategies that I use for people in retirement through fixed index annuities, cash value life insurance, Roth products, Roth 401k, just advice on how they could do this to protect themselves from what's going on right now, market losses, protect themselves from inflation, what's going on right now. But people need to be educated, and I'm very, very passionate about what I do, because people just don't know this stuff.
No, they don't.
Well, I want to thank you for this.
And the information, again, Alan, that you provide is amazing. And it's not just cash value life insurance, as we've learned on this podcast further and further, that there are multiple ways. You study all the different life insurance products that are out there, and then also financial products are out there, and you study everything and put together a portfolio for your client that is going to save them money in taxes, at the end of the day make more in their investment, and be able to have a retirement that's guaranteed. And that's what you do when you go with Alan Porter. So the best place is go to strategicwealth0@gmail.com, or call him at 910-551-1046, or follow him on social media platforms as well.
And also, I want people to know I'm not against stock market. Okay, I'm a registered investment advisor. I work with a team of people, top CPAs, top tax specific attorneys. If you want to do stocks and bonds, I have a team of people that can handle that. But my biggest thing is education, because people do not know what's available to them out there to protect themselves and protect their families and give them guaranteed income in retirement. And that's my main function in life.
All right. Well, it was a great strategic wealth strategy. Such information. People need to go back, listen to it, rewind, to listen to it again. And once they really know, hey, this is the guy, which I believe it is, contact him today. Appreciate it, Alan.
All right, Neil. Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Great day.